Hey there everyone, and welcome back to this No Powers playthrough of Dishonored 2. So, when we left off, we had just rescued Sokolov from the Clockwork Mansion, took care of Jin Dosh, and now we are trying to figure out the next steps. Of course, I've already played this game, so I know what the next step is. We are going to go to the Royal Conservatory and take care of Brianna Ashworth, but first, we appear to have been pulled into the Fade by Delilah. Now I'm going to skip past what I can, but a good majority of this section is unskippable, so I'll just kind of let the dialogue run. So I know there's a lot of speculation as to whether Delilah actually is a Caldwell or not. The game never seems to really confirm or deny that statement, but I tend to think it's true because there is an achievement titled The Greatest Gift, and its description is, and I quote, "Save your last remaining family member," and it's unlocked by non-lethally removing Delilah. So, it seems to indicate that she is actually a member of your family. Delilah is definitely one to hold a grudge though, because if you go to the gazebo in the last mission where Jessamine is buried, she actually graffitied Jessamine's gravesite and said something along the lines of like, "You're a liar, like that's the only thing people will remember about you," and it's just like, bro, how petty can you be? Like, writing all over your sister's grave? Come on, man. Show some decency. It is a pretty sad backstory, but you know what they say. Cool motive, still murder.
To know whether my dear old aunt is telling the truth or not.
Alright, well now that we have that section out of the way, it's time for us to head on over to the Royal Conservatory. Yes, hello Jessamine. Still low-key bitter that Jessamine died in the first game, but it's fine. Alright, so Sokolov is here, safe and sound.
Anton.
Alright, so as per usual, I'm going to look around very quickly and just see what there is to pick up, if anything, because I'm that person in a video game that will absolutely hoard everything, even though the chances that I'm going to use it are incredibly slim. Like, I think I picked up a ton of, like, stun mines, sticky grenades, regular grenades, spring razors. Never used any of them, but you know, it was one of those things where it was like, well, I better make sure I have maximum number of them, you know, just in case. So, I did go searching for food though, and I found some in Megan's room. Hopefully you don't mind, Megan. Just wanted to make sure my health bar was almost topped up before I left. And I didn't really want to use a health potion if I could avoid it.
We'll take the skiff. I don't want to bring
if you haven't figured it out at this point, I actually have a soft spot for Megan. She's definitely one of my favorite characters in this particular game, and her backstory definitely has a lot to do with it because,
yes, let's go.
Well, no spoilers, just in case you're unaware of Megan's backstory, but I actually guessed that her backstory was what it is, and so I was very excited when it turned out to be true. Alright, so here we are at the Royal Conservatory. Now, I'm pretty much gonna run through this section, just like I did in the Clockwork Mansion sections. The only difference is, I, at this point, have decided, you know what, I'm kind of running a little bit low on bullets, a little bit low on bolts, and I'm worried that I won't quite have enough to carry me all the way through. Most importantly, I'm worried that I won't have enough rewire tools, because those are very important and valuable to me in this run. So, since it's pretty easy to do, I am going to take the time to rob this black market. Now, I could have just as easily bought supplies, but where's the fun in that? So, the biggest problem about this section is there's 3 howlers waiting to ambush you in front of the shop, because, well, you know, howlers, they want money. So I decided I need to take care of them real quick. Luckily, they're pretty easy to fight. Just be sure to interrupt that one howler, because she will throw a stun dust at you, and it kind of messes you up a little bit. But yeah, easy enough to take care of. I mean, you know, I'm not a big fan of killing enemies in this game. I've always been a big fan of kind of low chaos stealth playthroughs, but you gotta do what you gotta do. There's definitely a way to dispatch them non-lethally, but I don't want to be taking a whole lot of time with this section just because like, robbing the shop isn't exactly a grade A priority for me. It's just something that I decided to do very quickly. The priority for me is going and taking care of Ashworth. But might as well make a pit stop along the way. So yeah, this is by far the easiest shop to rob, I believe. You know what, I take that back. I think the easiest shop to rob is actually in the very last mission, because it's just a matter of grabbing a key. But this is pretty close. Of course, this guy did see me, and I just decided to choke him out. I don't think any of the shopkeepers actually run to get guards, but I was a little bit concerned that he would, and I just didn't want to deal with it, so... Sorry, man. So I do take the time to grab his money, even though I don't think I actually end up buying anything in this playthrough, like, at all. So, great use of my time and efforts. But they're the bullets and the bolts that we were looking for, so that alone makes this worth it. Some stun mines, so now we're maxed up on those. Never use them, but it's fine. Oh yeah, more money, why not? Grenades? Sure, I'll take those. You know, maybe I'll need to use them, we never know. And of course, sleep darts are always decent. I grabbed the Addermeyer potion just out of habit, like I don't have powers, I certainly don't need it. And then of course, I accidentally closed the shutter. So anyway, Spring Razor grenades, we are pretty much set at this point. I don't know. I don't know what my thought process was at the time. I just thought, well, maybe I'll need stuff. Also, be careful when you break this container, because if you get too close to the grenade, shocking, you can cause it to blow up, because, you know, it's an explosive device. You'd think I would have realized that, but I didn't, and I blew myself to Kingdom Come, so don't do that. Alright, so that's out of the way. Now we can move on to the main section of this, which is getting to the Royal Conservatory. So I do end up sneaking just a little bit. I was initially just sprinting my way through, but it alerted some of these guards up here. I found that even though sprinting through is a lot faster, it's almost a lot easier just to stealth your way to things, at least partially, because it gets you closer to your objective before people start to notice you. Just be aware as you move through these walls of light, even if you've used a rewire tool to make it non-hostile towards you, if something hits you while you're running through it, it will kill you. Like, the wall of light will kill you. I don't know why, it's a well-known bug. It happened to me about 5 times trying to get through this section. A guard always hit me at that one wall of light back there, and it was absolutely obnoxious. But I finally made it through, 5th time's the charm, I guess, and now I am just running past all these witches. Now the absolutely fastest way to deal with this level is to run to Ashworth's office and kill her, and then run down to the basement and get the information that you need. I decided that, while that was all well and good, it would be easier for me to non-lethally deal with Ashworth. Now, there's a very specific explanation for this. It's because when you non-lethally neutralize Ashworth, it also neutralizes all of the witches in the vicinity, meaning that it knocks them unconscious. So it just makes it a little bit easier to deal with getting to the basement section, so I didn't have to worry as much about timing and avoiding taking damage and everything. So it was just a little bit easier. It's certainly the longer approach, but I just felt that it would be better for me personally, and also I tend to like the low chaos, non-lethal neutralizations, so I figured I'm capable of doing this one, so I might as well. So here I was just hiding, waiting for the witches to de-aggro. They did eventually, which actually I was worried that there was going to be so many they would just teleport right behind me, but luckily they did actually lose track of me, so I'm uncrouching here just to make sure there's nobody out in the hallway, and there wasn't. So very shortly I will start making my way over and trying to figure out how to get high up enough to get to the 2nd floor of Ashworth's office without using blink or far reach. I actually reached this point in the level and had the realization that maybe it wasn't possible, and had a moment where I was like, oh well, that was absolutely a waste. I might have to restart, but luckily I figured out a way. So you can kind of see me looking around trying to figure out, okay, how do I get up onto that ledge? Maybe if I jump here and then like jump up there, maybe I can nope, well I'm underneath the ledge, so that's not gonna work. So I'm looking around, and then I have the realization, oh, the elevator, I can take the elevator. It'll take me up into that little secret space. I did check on Ashworth's office though. This is what I'm talking about when it's easier to neutralize her, because if you run in there and kill her, there's still 2 dogs and then you have to run past all the witches. So, I don't know. Maybe it would have been, in the long run, easier to just kill her and move on, but that is not the approach that I took. So I decided to get back up here, because I know that there's a couple witches patrolling this floor, but I don't exactly know where they are. You can still see me, like, I figured out the elevator, but I'm still trying to figure out, is there a different way? And then I see one of the witches coming closer, and I'm like, okay, here's where I need to start taking care of the ones on this floor so that I can get to the elevator.
Let's make the next death more
so just gonna
interesting.
take her out real quick. Sorry, lady. Ouch. Of course, one of the dogs aggroed because he heard me use the crossbow, so I'm just gonna skedaddle on out of there. There's only one more witch on this level. I end up killing her, but looking back in retrospect, I could have very easily knocked her out, and I think I would have almost preferred to do that. But, you know, at the time I was just really concerned about, like, okay, I just want to be able to use the elevator. I just want to get to the top floor so that I can take care of things. Ooh, ouch. I'm sorry, lady. Because, I mean, elevators are certainly a very useful tool, but they do make noise when they get to floors, and it will aggro enemies, so I wanted to make sure I removed the 2 witches on this floor, so that I wouldn't worry about being detected. So as you can see, the witches on the floor below me are like, what the heck was that? Nothing you need to know about. And then I broke a bunch of glass here and panicked, because I was like, oh great, they probably know where I am now. They had no idea, so it was fine. Picked up a bone charm there. It actually ended up being a really good one. Health is certainly a very valuable resource in a no powers run. So at this point, all I've got left to do is make my way over to the office to get the lenses and interfere with the oracular device, or whatever they're calling it. I can't remember. Something fancy. I did worry about running into that tray though, because I was like, oh man, if they hear me running into it, I bet they come running upstairs, and I don't want them to do that. And then I knew there was a bone charm in here, so I figured, it's right here, I might as well grab it. Actually ended up being decently useful. I don't know if it actually ever helped me, but it certainly had the potential to be helpful, so I equipped it. And here are the lenses.
These odd lenses might be linked to what Ashworth
I wasn't sure if I needed to read the note or not to activate the machine, but I decided it didn't hurt to pick it up. And then I had that hoarding moment that I was trying to ignore, where I was like, I don't need to pick up any money, I don't need to pick up any money. Okay, well, I'm just gonna pick up a little bit of money, so I went back. I don't know, I just was like, well, maybe I'll need to buy something, who knows? It did end up being fairly useful because I picked up a health potion and some sleep darts. Okay, now that my hoarding has been satisfied, I can finally move back along and get on with the mission. Just gonna hop over that real quick. Alright, so I'm making my way back. Just taking a moment to look at the device. There are, I believe, 2 witches that patrol the area where the device is, and then there's a couple witches that will be on some of the chandeliers. Now I believe those witches moved because I aggroed them when I ran up the stairs initially, and I don't think they went back, but they will aggro anyway because I wasn't exactly trying to be stealthy when I put the lenses in. I was just trying to put them in and then activate the device as quickly as possible. So I did try to do some fancy parkouring here, but I mean, I'm bad, so I missed. So at this point I'm like, I'm just gonna run for it, like, they're gonna see me, it's fine. But then I had to wait for this lever to activate because the lenses were switching out. So I'm just like frantically mashing the F key, like, please, 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 please. Finally it went off, the witches ran away, Ashworth appeared, and all of the witches were knocked out and neutralized.
What will I do now?
Yeah, sorry, Brianna, but you maybe shouldn't have been a giant asshat to us.
The touch of the void.
You messed with the wrong empress. Alright, so at this point, our lives are pretty easy because all of the witches have been knocked out. None of the dogs will spawn, anything. So it's a simple matter of going down to the basement, getting the spare key from the storage room, and then getting the information we need and getting the heck out. The only enemies still in the area are bloodflies, which of course are obnoxious, but not that difficult to deal with. At this point, I didn't really want to use my incendiary arrows because I wanted to save them in case I needed them for any security panels or whale oil tanks that needed to be disabled. I don't think I ended up using any more incendiary bolts, but better safe than sorry. I definitely tried to be sparing with my supplies in this run. Got some blueprints? Why not? They're there. Same with the bone charm. Which actually ended up being very useful because it gave us an increase in pistol damage. And a pistol is definitely the easiest way to remove a target, so ended up being very helpful in one of the later missions. Gonna make our way to the storage room here. Alright, that's the information that we need.
More about why Delilah can't be killed.
I did take a moment to stop and grab the painting that's back here because, well, it's a painting of Billy Lurk, and I was a big fan of Billy Lurk when I played the Dowd DLCs from Dishonored, so figured I'd grab it while I was here. Especially because I knew there was a way to get out without Blink. I was a little bit worried. I was like, oh shoot, what if I go in there and it turns out I need Blink or Far Reach to get out? No, it was fine. So I'm just gonna make my way out. So of course, all the witches have been knocked unconscious, which makes my life easy. But there's still a fuck ton of guards patrolling the area, and of course, like, all the alarms have been set off and everything. So I figured, at least until I got to kind of the main street, I would stealth my way through because I didn't exactly want to be aggroing guards at this point. So I end up making my way up, and then once I hit the main street here, I just haul ass once more. Hey guys, don't mind me. Seriously, don't mind me. And don't go through those wall of lights or it'll really hurt you. It's funny, I don't know why, but after you run through that initial wall of light, all the guards end up congregating, like, on the edge of the map. Like, that's nowhere near where I was running. Why would you be there? But anyway, we got past him. It's fine.
So,
hi, Megan.
yes, let's go. Take me back to the Dreadful Whale.
Alright, so, we weren't exactly stealthy, and we certainly weren't non-lethal because, well, a lot of the guards ended up running through the wall of light, and it low-key killed them. But, you know, we completed our objective, and that's what matters, right? Okay, so, this next mission, we are headed to the Dust District, and, well, it's gonna be a pretty quick mission, just because you don't actually need to know the combination to solve the puzzle.
I need to know
Why, you may ask? Well, because very clever people on Reddit figured out the key to the puzzle, and I googled it. Maybe that's cheating, I don't know, but I just figured the Dust District is kind of a pain in the ass, especially if you want to remain neutral amongst the factions, as I did, so, you know, no harm in looking it up. I did take just a quick moment to grab some supplies. There are some bolts and a health potion sitting over here. Of course, I was full up on health potions, didn't realize it. That is the benefits of trying to stealth through at least a small portion of these areas. I haven't used as many health potions as one might think. Alright, so I'm just gonna run past these guys and very quickly use a rewire tool to reset the security panel. Of course, I totally blank on where the entrance is, and I'm like, oh, that's not right. So I'll just go through the window here. Some guards got fried behind me, that's what you get for trying to attack me. And then I go for this jump and realize, oh yeah, I'm never gonna make that, so I'm gonna have to climb up here. Hey Megan, how's it going? So we skip past this dialogue, but it's basically Megan telling us about the two different factions, how to get past the Jindosh lock, and then also telling us about how she at one point was good friends with Aramis Stilton, and she has no idea what happened to him. She tried to get into his house at one point to figure out why, and was attacked by looters, and that's how she lost her arm and her eye. So that's really unfortunate, Megan. I'm sorry about that. But anyway, so the Jindosh riddle. According to the clever individual on Reddit who figured this out, there is a set pattern to this, although the different stories vary. So basically, the ladies are ordered in the riddle as to when they are mentioned, so you can classify them as Lady 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The different heirlooms that are mentioned in order will always go with a specific lady. So the third heirloom mentioned will go with Lady 1, fourth mentioned will go with Lady 2, second mention will go with Lady 3, first mention will go with Lady 4, and then the fifth mention will go with Lady 5. So basically, as long as you look at the riddle and figure out the ordering of the names and the ordering of the heirlooms, you can figure out the code, which is exactly what I did. I've done it on 2 runs now, and it's worked each time, so that's not exactly a lot of trial runs, so I can't confirm whether or not that particular solution is foolproof, but it seems to work pretty well. That's it for this episode. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure to check back for the last episode tomorrow.